Hello. My hair won't cooperate with me today. But it's okay. Because we have a tournament. It's time. Oh boy. Got 8 signups. How wondrous. Alright. Now we're up against Caradoc. Oh boy. Caradoc? I can't find them. What the? Caradoc. There they are. Alright. It's time. Sweaty stream? Yeah, we're going pretty sweaty. I have 3 tournaments before the grand finals. I am going to play pretty sweaty so you can actually practice. Alrighty, there we go. Oh boy. Oh boy. But yeah, we have our opponent for round 1 that I think we're playing against on Friday. I'm gonna be up against Sipa, who is a person who took a game off of me in the last time we faced them in the grand finals. So that's pretty spice. That's pretty spice. I think I'll have a good time against him though. Just gotta beat the ogres and all that. So Caradoc went Wood Elves first? Oh crap. What's the counter to Wood Elves? Where are they at? These ones. Vampire counts. Ugh. Dang, Wood Elves and counts? Oh dang, they're picking good. Slaanesh? Okay, Coast. Not my best lineup I've ever had. We'll see if this is enough. Slaanesh, Ogres, Wood Elves versus the Wood Elves, Vampire Counts, Vampire Coast. I see. But yeah, I'm up against Sipa. Oh boy. Hey, jeez. As long as we train super hard though, I should get there. Oh boy. And then after this tournament, I'm playing in turns 2v2 tournament. Won't be streaming though. But that's the plan. What are the maps? Okay, so the maps are Bordello Landing, Imperial Ambush, and Proving Grounds. Let's see here. Proving Grounds. Okay, it's all fairly large maps. They're like kind of large to medium sized. I guess between Bordello Landing and Ambush, it's not the worst. It's kind of bad for shooty factions though, which I am not a big fan of. Oh, I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose. Really? He's banning Wood Elves versus Ogres? Alright. Apparently Caradoc. Oh wait, yeah, no, yeah. Because I'd be playing Ogres. Of course he doesn't want that. Alright, so I think banning Slaanesh versus Wood Elves just makes a lot of sense. The Wood Elf mirror, we crush him. Ogres versus Counts though, I gotta get rid of that. I think Ogres was a bad pick for me because I have to ban Counts and Coast. Kinda did pretty well there. Unless Ogres beat Coast by some rogue miracle. But yeah, I'm probably gonna play against Sipa on Friday. I don't know how much Sipa's actually been playing lately though. So maybe they just make some big misplays and my life is chill. I just want to not lose in the grand finals. It would be so much less stressful if I just didn't lose. Oh my god. Right. So it looks like I'm probably... If I'm going to play Wood Elves versus his Wood Elves, his Counts, his Coast, it's just a free win, right? Slaanesh versus Counts and Coast should be good too. As long as they don't horrifically misplay on the Slaaneshi side. I will say though, there's been a bit of a figuring out, excuse me, of how to play versus Slaanesh's Vampire Counts, but I think that's just a Maximilianaire thing. Bans Vampire Coast and Wood Elves. Makes a lot of sense. Bans Wood Elves versus Vampire Counts. Okay, also makes a lot of sense. So then I'll, yeah. The maps. Alright. So either on Edge of the Darkwood, Blood Grove, or Jade Tomb. Fun. Yesterday I felt pretty good though. So yesterday I played 3 tournaments back to back to back. Didn't lose a single game. But it wasn't against like these super high octane players, except for Attack Speed. I did play against Attack Speed in a Wood Elf mirror. I did win that, so that's a good sign, because I'm probably playing him in the top 8 if I beat Sipa. Unless he loses to Maximilianaire. He should be able to beat Maximilianaire, though. Because both players get 1 global ban. So you get to ban out one of their opponent's mains. Just get rid of Maximilianaire's Vampire Counts, and he's a lot more chill to deal with in general. Can't wait to see what shenanigans he'll be able to do with the call-up, bro. It's going to be so great, the DLC. 1 more month. 1 more month. Bans Edge of the Darkwood. Alright. Pick Vampire Coast Slaanesh. Let's play on Coast v Slaanesh. Blood Grove. But yeah, if I can beat Sipa and Attack Speed Enjoyer in a best of 3, we get into best of 5s, which I generally have a better time with. Mild problem. Our first best of 5 is against Charix. Because it's in top 4. And then the grand finals, if we win, if we make it to the grand finals, it's probably me versus Dan again. So, yeah. It's pretty spooky. Oh, whoops. It's pretty spooky. Oh, it's really spooky. I'm stressing, man. I'm stressing like crazy. What magic is good versus Coast? I guess I don't want to get air cheesed. I got Furies though. He ain't gonna air cheese me. It's just the artillery spam, right? Do I even need Lore of Shadows? I guess it gives me a speed boost. So you can't go too wrong with it. How do you think adding monstrous infantry via sea elementals would change high elves? Okay, realistically, I think CA implement them in the completely wrong fashion and they suck. We don't want another treekin is all I'm saying, alright? We don't want a tanky unit that deals no damage. But if they are good, it kind of depends on what they're good at. High elves need armor piercing. If they're not armor piercing, and they don't give like some sort of AP frontline, kind of like Ushapti for Tomb Kings, then I think high elves don't really change. Also, like, their speed matters a lot. High elves play a lot of kite play styles. But if they enable the high elves to win a frontline fight when they want to, then that's generally a good time, I would say. Hey, Diomed, what's up? Decay, hello. Alright, so... how do you beat Coast? Generally speaking? You know, there's actually a fun build-up strategy that you can do against Coast. I find that they rely pretty heavily on their guns and such. So, if you just do an absolutely massive build-up against them, they actually don't really handle that too well. Because they like run out of good units to summon. They end up with just a bunch of depth guard, which is pretty good for me, let me tell you. So maybe I can actually pull that off today. Let's see here. Yeah, just like an ultra build up. How many Furies do I need if I'm going for an ultra build up? Probably not many. Yeah, this looks not bad. Sure, why not? Why not? Let's do it. All right. I have full confidence in your ability to keep your win streak going. We'll see. One of the main reasons to play these tournaments is just to have the confidence so I don't have to stress. Anxiety, it runs through my veins. But yeah, I really wonder how the Sea Elementals will do with High Elves, because they really don't fit into their playstyle. They could be revolutionary, they could be garbage. But like, it's not like you're just gonna start mixing them into your usual armies. Like, they will invent new armies if they actually work. Pretty crazy. Now, I don't think we're gonna see any cannons. This is a 19 stack for Vampire Coast. I have a lot of cav, the huge. And I kind of want to try a build up. Now, my opponent does have 33 units. That's pretty intense. But Vampire Coast, they really rely on their handful of good units. So if I can like really just hunker down on point, get it captured, and then just stall for a bit, we should be good. Man, my hair. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping he was gonna spam maybe too much ranged. With the current state of things, we're probably just gonna have to... It's either we capture a point or he goes too wide and then I pick one of his flanks to attack. If I can fight with my whole army and he's fighting with half his army, we should be able to win that quite handily. I guess tanky front lines don't really help static archer fights that much these days. Oh, it'll be great in campaign. But yeah, tanky front lines have never been really great for archer backlines. Like, just look at dwarves, right? No dwarf player is going like long beards and crossbows, right? It's just not a style, let alone iron breakers in ranged. Like, that's just not a thing. Because flanking is way too easy to do in multiplayer. Campaign though, campaign players will love them. I'm telling you right now. Ate the Wolf, what's up? A Necrofex. Alright. Necrofex is interesting. He can control the center point with the Necrofex. That does fall into the category of way too much range, though. So I should be able to just dodge a guy. Yes, Silastra. Some spells. So, based on the positioning, I think we do want to go for a build-up strat. Yeah, today's ultra tryhard. I want to get tournament ready, man. You can tell we're ultra tryharding because I'm dodging this Necrofex. We're just dodging him. That means he does 30% less damage. Woo! Good dodge. Wait, he's gonna do significantly less damage because you get a pretty big damage amp.
Keep it from the foe.
When you are at high ammunition as Coast. So if I can prevent that, it'll be pretty good. But yeah, the general rule of thumb. The Necrofex, it doesn't really have the DPS chops to win this. My opponent's playing super defensively, by the way. So you really want to take this fight? Bunch of dogs versus Keeper of Secrets. I guess I will be more in vision for that Necrofex to potentially cook.
Woeful tidings. The enemy has captured one of your victory points.
Not the Seekers. It's okay, we're a dodge master. But yeah, if I just fully build up here. It's unfortunately a little bit of a boring style. But if I fully build up, my opponent should be at a fairly big disadvantage. It's a lot of handgunners. The handgunners are not super great here. Thank goodness for trees and the power of trees. But yeah, I just have to get a little bit of early damage in. My opponent will be forced to summon in some lackluster units. And then hopefully we win the game. Especially if I can get some poke in with my magic. Especially if this Necrofex keeps wasting ammo. Half ammo down, basically got no value. That's pretty bad. Pretty bad for your little Necrofex. I guess we'll just keep Malkotzing the dogs. Should not charge with my Lord too much though. Charging reduces your vigor. We kind of want to build that back up. Just got to bully these dogs off the point. And hopefully my opponent just overextends and then we get a big fat rush. Yeah, there he goes. So now he's summoning in Depth Guard. Depth Guard are good, but they can't defend this formation super well. They just can't. Because they're a very dense unit in terms of monies. And I should be able to capture the points. And then we win. These pirate gunnery mobs, by the way, are getting a little overextended. If my opponent gets too antsy and just fully overextends, that's pretty good for us. Animated Hulks are also. They're generally quite bad. Yeah, they're generally quite bad here. The power of the trees. So I feel like this is actually quite good for us. These pirate gunnery mobs have rather overextended themselves. So we're just gonna charge him. Same with these guys. Like, this army's miles away. So he's gonna have to run away with his Necrofex. He's probably gonna lose out on a lot of these guys. Though we'll see. That's quite a bit of damage on my poor Seekers of Slaanesh there. Not exactly the best of circumstances. I get 600 gold. My opponent gets a decent amount of money back too, though, by damaging the Seekers so much. So it's not exactly like a golden situation, but one that we can live with. You know what? If the Necrofex runs out of ammunition, it just becomes a giant walking dude. Though, the damage to the Chaos Knights is kind of sucky for me. Probably shouldn't have pulled out with the Chaos Knights. Actually getting bullied quite a bit. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep building up. Vampire Coast is actually surprisingly bad at retaking points. A bit of a late game situation. So as long as we can actually secure these, I'm pretty happy. The problem is now, though, he's gonna resummon those guys, right? So like trading is actually not exactly optimal. At the end of the day, though, as long as we can actually secure points, I'm happy. And they're not resummoning in the deckhands, which is the biggest thing. Excited for Sky Cutters? Oh yeah. I think Sky Cutters will absolutely crush it. Yeah, bombers are a little sus. My opponent's quite pushed up, though. In an attempt to actually secure the points, they're going to be slightly further away from their reinforcing. Which is generally nice, I'd say. The new High Elf stuff, I can't believe the DLC's finally on its way. Now, to desummon this gives my opponent more value. Not exactly the most comfy position. Pretty sure if I just spam my 2 Furies and just jump his guns, though, or his bombers, I should be able to get in here, right? There's not a whole lot that can actually deal with the Furies and such. Should be able to spend a bit of magic, just wear down the doggos. I think we want to push out soon, because if my opponent gets... if they're able to hold on to this last point, then we kind of get wrecked. Can't really afford that. So here's what we're gonna do. Furies and Fiends are on their way. Gonna go for a just ginormous push along this flank. Actually just gonna... Jeez, these Seekers got brutalized by that Necrofex. But yeah, we're just gonna hard push here. And my opponent is... they have a lot of forces over here. That's not super useful, right? Yeah, so some Mourngulls are gonna come in to hit the Forsaken. That's not a big deal. Should be able to shut down the guns. Forsaken should be able to get on through fairly comfortably. We have some guys over there. He's gonna catch some Hellstriders, but that's not a big deal. Then as soon as my Lord gets in here, I think we'll be okay. I actually have to secure points, though. But my opponent should be a little lacking in terms of actual spendings. Yeah, a lot of guys here are getting caught up. Ah, crap. Misclicked. We misclicked slightly. That's gonna suck just a smidge. Not the end of the world, but not exactly comfortable either. Crap, that misclick actually might... that might cause me some issues. But yeah, at least the fiends are cooking over here. We've killed off most of the guns. Seems like his knights didn't get the best of charges either. I just have to actually secure this point. I kind of have to double cap my opponent. And preferably sometime soon. Let's see, we're gonna, yeah, rampage those guys. The fiends here are doing okay. I just have to secure this point soon, though. I think I don't win on a low capture. That's not great. That's not great. At least I'll be able to bully the Depth Guard. And if I kill Silostra, he won't be able to summon Silostra back, not easily. The fiends are doing pretty well here. I don't like that the pistol mobs are back, though. But all going well. Maybe we can get a sick pendulum on their faces. This capture rate's way too slow, though. I'm not liking it. I'm not liking it at all, man. The Depth Guard. The Depth Guard are cooking. He has a lot of zombies here. I should be able to just overwhelm this at least. And then maybe I can go for an army wipe instead. I'm not super confident about my army trading. My opponent might not have a lot of cash to spare, though. And this force is not especially spooky. As long as he doesn't capture the home point, I think I should be relatively okay. Okay, let's see here. So I got the Furies. They're cooking pretty well. I should be able to kill Silostra. The Depth Guard are dying. Holy crap, this is the slowest capture I've ever had in my life, though. This is such a slow capture. I'm hating it. I'm hating it so much. Yeah, we might just be dead off of not being able to secure the point. We'll see, though. So what, I have a little bit of time, I guess. Can I kill Silostra, though? I guess I have some Furies, but jeez Louise. That capture did not come quickly, and Silostra is gonna be chilling. Now, at the very least, you can't secure this point, not with my cavalry nearby. Should be able to kill the bombers. There's not a whole lot over here. It's mostly these summons that are going to be causing me the most issues. We can get a little bit of bullying on the Silostra. That's nice. But I only have a handful of, yeah, I only have a handful of seconds to potentially get this middle point. Now, Fury should be good versus these guys. Silostra is dead. And I can get a pretty big press towards the middle. At least I'm able to spend most of my monies. And yeah, okay, if I get my Forsaken here, then I think we might have a chance, as long as we don't lose this point. Come on, baby. Yeah, there you go. So they're facing the wrong direction. They're facing my Furies, which actually hurts them quite a bit. Ooh, that's a massive play for my back point, though. The dog resummon. Oh, crap. Yeah, I think we barely lose it. I should have attacked sooner. Unless we manage to clear these dogs out. Come on. Come on, you darn speed demons, get there. Crap. Oh, man. I don't think we're clearing them out. Yeah, he gets the point. Dang it. Clearly, I gotta practice the build-up style a bit more. That actually makes life a little sus. I have like only 20 seconds to capture this point. Yeah, that's GG. Yeah, so the whole way this strategy works is you have to time the attack so that they can't snipe points for the victory. Map was a little sus. Could have been slightly bigger, but I think I just misplayed the timing. Necroflex was actually pretty useful too because it let him get some early trades, which I didn't really like. And dying to, like, killing off the pistols early on was actually a big misplay. I should have gone for the full press when his pistols were overextended, and I think I would have been fine. But yeah, I think usually you push at the 750 ticket mark. Good learnings, though. Good learnings. Let's play Slaanesh. versus vampire counts next. Alright. So we'll play Slaanesh versus counts. I'll ban Jade Tomb. Nah, I'll ban, yeah. Yeah, I'll ban Jade Tomb. We might be on Blood Grove again, though. And you know what? I'll ban Blood. I'll ban Blood Grove, and then we'll play on Jade Tomb. These are actually pretty good maps for Undead, but this is good practice. Yeah, the good old Scurvy Dog play. I was hoping that I would clear his main army fast enough. But I really should have just had more Marauder spam, right? If I wanted to build up. I think the cavalry kind of did me dirty. Because you kind of have to capture those points fast. Sia has not released more info, sadly. Alright, so playing J2. I probably should be pretty careful about playing Slaanesh into Coast in the finals, too. Kind of sus. Alright. So let's actually go for this style instead. Vampire counts. They're pretty annoying. Do they have a way to kill fiends, though? No, right? Pretty sure I can use fiends to my advantage here. I think this time I gotta be a little bit more careful and take more infantry. Hellstriders are good. Fiends are good. Furies are only okay. I probably don't want a lot of them. I do kind of have to bring more out of Horsemen for the Mortis engine. But yeah, as long as I play this well enough, I think we'll be okay. In general, this matchup, it's alright. I think there's a bit of play for both sides. But yeah, as long as I don't goof it up. Double White King on horses will have a harder time versus fiends, I think. Pretty sure we can win that fight. Hopefully he doesn't have like some crazy Lord Snipe shenanigans, but I think this build is good. Man, imagine I get double loss as Slaanesh though, that'd be terrible. What are the chances Slaanesh jumps to uber OP again with the new units? I think they will become uber OP unless they change other stuff. But they usually get like a hot fix balance patch for like the tremendously OP units. And I think that'll reel Slaanesh in. So I don't think there's a huge issue. Just give it like 1 or 2 weeks after the DLC. Yeah, my those Chaos Knights really were not great. I just needed more infantry. I think build-up strats, you just want a crap ton of infantry, and you'll be fine. I gotta go light around the calf, so this is what we're doing. Meanwhile, the Thunder Tusk, that's true, that's true. There's a non-zero chance you just leave them super OP for a long time. Slaanesh was OP for like a year or so. Alright, here we go. Feeling pretty confident about this. This should be a better matchup. Ready, good luck, have fun. Nice and simple. We have my little hit squad here to kill all expensive groups. If it goes for like a huge line of guys, I'll be okay. Because we have a lot of infantry. We can use that to actually out capture weight the vampire counts, as the skeletons don't have a lot of cat weight. And then I have my Marauder Horsemen in case we run into Graveguard. Great thing about this map, I can force them onto this one point. The points are actually decently spaced apart, and my home point is basically untouchable. So I should be able to use that to my advantage. But I gotta play this one pretty well, these vampire counts players. They know how to play a mean undead. This should be alright, though. Let's see it. Give me your worst. He's going my build. So he has a Strigoi and some Foot Vikings. Skelly Spear, some Graveguard. Alright. Now, I actually did misplay a little bit. I forgot to take my Bringers of Beguilement. And the Strigoi is going to keep my Lord off the battlefield for most of the game. But as long as my Lord's hiding in the trees, he can't really spend his magic either. So it's not the end of the world. I think we'll be okay. Just gotta, yeah, park my Lord in the trees. And we'll be okay. Graveguard are a little scary, but against Fiends, he'll have a pretty hard time, I think. And actually, yeah, if I just spam Fiends, I think there's not a whole lot my opponent can do here. Gets the Corpse Cart. But immediately what I'm seeing is I can kind of bully this front line. And then he breaks his line formations, all right. He's on the move. That means these charges should be pretty brutal against his pesky zombies. And this build shouldn't have a lot of mobility. Basically just a few dogs. Yeah, basically just a handful of dogs. So I think we'll be fairly in the clear on that front. Just gonna get a few zombie pickings at the start. Goes for Crypt Horror. The skeletons are on the move, so we can bully them too. And so far, so good. I'm gonna try and get my opponent to overextend, and that should be pretty great for us. Just gotta ignore the Graveguard, and we're fine. Gets a pretty massive Scab Scrat on my poor Marauders here. Now, they technically still have full capture weight. So I'm not going to de-summon them just yet. But yeah, that Scab Scrat going to be rather painful. Hey, at least my Forsaken are cooking though. And it's going to build up my army ability, which leads to great things. And he's still on 1 point, which is pretty bad. Skeleton's getting charged by Forsaken while they're retreating. That means that they get their pretty massive charge bonus. Quite nice, quite nice. My Lord is still at full HP, so no crazy amounts of magic has been spent yet. It's a dandy old time. So now he's pushing for this point. That's when we get our summons in. And horrors, if they overextend, that would be super bad for my opponent. Looks like they see it. Caradoc, strong player. Does manage to pull them back, but hey, you know, the Fiends are cooking pretty well. And his army's slow, man. His army's real slow. We're abusing that to the maximum of our capabilities. I can probably go for a Corpse Cart snipe too. His Lord's a little far away. Like, how much do I want my Lord to be exposed to his, you know? A lot of shenanigans that can go on there. Oh, this should be good though. Very exposed here. And I can just use those Marauders to hold the point. And then he's going to spam. Okay, just more horrors. They're quite slow, generally speaking. They're not going to be a huge deal. Yeah, they can get a little bit of damage in, but I'm not particularly worried about them just yet. In fact, I can use Furies to my advantage to kill them off. And the Corpse Cart is just completely out of position. It's not helping at all. So what I think we'll do is we'll bring in one Fiend over here to bog down the horrors. And then we go for that Lord Snipe. Spirit Leeches alone are not going to be enough. Oh, look at that Marauder capture rate. What a hero. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start casting spells. So my Lord has Blissful Rapture, which is a rather huge melee attack increase. So as long as I keep spamming spells here, my units are going to have crazy melee attack values. And everything here should just take a whack load of damage. I just have to be really on point with yeah, with the spell cast and all that. Should be able to kill off his Lord too. I have a lot of spells, though. I think I'll just silence him. And I should be able to get him killed eventually. Because the zombies here and such are dying pretty hard. I'm hoping that just with the spell spam, he'll just die. It's gonna take a hot second. Probably gonna need a lot of cycle charges too, but I know my opponent just spent a lot of money on horrors. So we should be okay. Graveguard, we're just gonna ignore with the Forsaken. And then I'm going to try and make a play for them horrors. His Lord's also kind of stuck in the nasty melee too. If I can get a kill there, that'd be great. But I'm thinking I might just abandon the fight on his Lord because clearly the guy's not going to die anytime soon, right? And I might be better off just killing off the horrors instead. The horrors that be. He's going to defend the home point. Makes a lot of sense. Sitting on a mean double cap. I think we're going to go for that corpse cart. Can't afford giving him all them bonuses to vigor and all that. Should be a pretty good play though. No dog summons is actually quite surprising. There you go. There's another melee attack boost. That should fare pretty well for me overall. And okay, yeah, there's the dogs, finally. I've been waiting many years for these dogs to show up. I should be able to bully them though. And there you go, corpse cart's dead. And we're taking a really nice, just solid fight in this little pocket. I'm up trading pretty well here, I think. I will want more melee units. A double cap is not a terrible position to be, especially because we got our points so early. And then we go back to the Lord Snipe. We're just gonna have to continuously try to snipe this guy. Because when he does die, then then my opponent's leadership goes down the drain and everything becomes hunky-dory. Actually, Spirit Leech's Fiend, I think. Pretty interesting. Debuff these guys is melee defense. A glorious 0 melee defense. That's terrible for them. And yeah, I think we just have a little bit too much. Vampire counts are crumbling left, right, and center. We took a really nice fight in this pocket. So very nice. That means we're going to play Wood Elf Mirror next. Immediately after this game. That's going to be interesting. Actually, I probably should have taken Nakari, though. Nakari is quite expensive here. I don't think I brought the most optimal build here, but the fact that we were still able to win is a good sign. Yeah, Slaanesh definitely wants you exposed. Mega exposed. But yeah, now we're in the late game where I get to bully some Graveguard with the Fiends. Not a single Mortis engine in sight. I think if he summoned a Mortis into this blob, it might have been hard to kill. Hard to tell whether or not my Lord would actually be able to pull it off. But yeah, I feel like a Mortis here would have been pretty good. But yeah, they're effectively army wiped now. Gonna need to reduce his melee defense here to actually be able to land hits. 26 to 43. That's only okay. I can reduce it again though with seductive glory. So I guess that'll be okay. And yeah, the Graveguard is just dying. And we can bully these Crypt Horrors soon. But first things first, I want to kill this Lord. I want to get him out of here. Steal this point. Get some more horsemen. Horsemen are really good versus these guys. I'm just gonna net them down.
Your secrets.
Okay, yeah, Lord's gonna live. What an annoying little meatball. He refuses to die. Which is oh so annoying. At the very least, though, Crypt Horror spam is not gonna be it, though, right? I have loads of ways to debuff their melee defense, and then they'll just die. Crypt Horrors are really susceptible to high amounts of damage. They really rely on their melee defense and regeneration to do well. But if you kill them quickly, they don't make use of that healing. and then they suck.
You have the foe's victory.
Dang, that Lord, though. Man, they don't die anytime soon. If we shoot up the Crypt Horrors, though, we'll get there. And, of course, Fury charges are good. We've successfully just ignored the White Kings to victory. And now, on a triple cap, we have a pretty decisive win. So, a decisive win, a decisive loss. The Wood Elf Mirror will be quite something to behold, I think.
Unending glory is yours.
Good time, a good time. Yeah, I don't think the horrors cook super hard, right? They just really don't do well alone. They want to be sitting on top of a corpse cart. Really surprised we didn't see more dogs. Or the Mortis engine. I did have a plan for the dogs, though. Fiends are just really good against them. And of course, we can net them, too. But I feel like there were a couple opportunities. I think this is basically my build, though. I think this is actually the same as my build. Just maybe played slightly differently. Alright, so now we're playing Wood Elf Mirror. Alright. I'll ban Edge of the Dark Wood. For the last match, it's gonna be the Wood Elf Mirror. Oh boy. Wood Elf Mirror is pretty crazy, guys. It's yeah. It's a pretty big kite fiesta, let me tell you. And well, yeah, I guess that's basically it. It's just a crazy kite fiesta, isn't it? Vance Bloodgrove. All right, so we're playing on Jade Tomb. Yeah, so Wood Elf v Wood Elves. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm pretty sure it just comes down to who can kite better. I'm fairly certain of that. Oh boy. Oh boy. Wood Elves are hype though. They're quite fun to play. Wood Elves were one of the main reasons I was winning so much in the tournament. But yeah, just have to be like a little wary of like, you know, some weird rushes my opponent can do. As long as we are fairly prepared for that, I think we'll be okay. Whew. We'll see though. I genuinely consider myself to be quite good at kite, at least. So that'll be pretty nice. Then, yeah, I just need some of that. All right. Let's do it. Great Stags incoming. Oh, they're pretty bad here. You don't want too much money on an expensive unit. Treeman. The side with the most Treeman fielded. Oh my goodness. Terrifying thought. The Mega Treeman spam. Alright. Let's see how the bracket's doing so far. People still playing. Yo, we got Danican here. We got Navigator, Alec Rawl. These are the people that qualified for the grand finals, so they really want to practice. Thankfully, no one that I'm going to be facing against anytime soon. But boy, oh boy. Man, this is going to be a spicy finals. I hope I don't get knocked out by Seepa round one, though. There's a non-zero chance it happens. Sometimes make those misplays. I should just avoid Slaanesh versus Coast. I think it's actually not the best matchup. Unless the Marauder spam cooks. I usually have a lot of bombers, though. I guess I could spam... I don't know. If I spam armor, they're just gonna kill them with Moringles, right? Who'd you lose to? Well, we lost one match versus Caradoc. This is a best of 3. I think Turin actually does have like a little fun betting thing for the grand finals. You predict how the grand finals will play out, like the brackets. And then, yeah, and then I think you get like a mini prize or something if you are the closest to predicting what happens. Oh boy. Do we already know the tourney tree? I do. The tourney tree is... I don't think there's a problem with me saying it. I'm against Sipa. Like, so in order, top to bottom. Me versus Sipa. Maximillionaire versus Attack Speed Enjoyer. Berserk versus Martin. Charix versus B6. Scrambled Egg Special versus Blood Penguin. Ulrich Rawl versus Navigator. Boss Toss versus Sirika. And Danican versus Melkor. So I'm thinking top 4 is going to be me versus Attack Speed Enjoyer. It's going to be Berserk versus Charix. It's going to be Scrambled Eggs versus Ulrich Rawl, maybe? And Boss Toss versus Danican. I think the top 4, so that's top 8. Top 4 is going to be, I would say, hopefully, me versus Charix. And Danican versus... I'm gonna go with Scrambled Egg Special. And the finals, hopefully, me versus Danican. That's what we're hoping for. Alright, here we go. So, fairly simple. It's a bunch of skirmishers. Who would have guessed? It's a bunch of skirms. We have some rush resistance here that should help us out. Yeah. So, as long as we don't get rushed into oblivion, I'm fairly comfortable. Was Sipa the surprise finalist of the last grand finals? Honestly, kind of forget. I remember Sipa taking a game off my Tomb Kings, though, with some Norska shenanigans. Interesting. So, no Flying Lord. So that should be a fairly nice advantage for me.
Keep it from the foe.
It's a lot of infantry. A lot of infantry for sure. Alright. So not having a Flying Lord gives me the opportunity to do some of these stealth scout shenanigans. Just gonna get a little bit of a Malkots here. Alright. Dude, look at the range on these guys though. So we can't spot his his Waywatcher crew. Alright. That's fairly comfortable knowing where they're at. I'm gonna just take a pot shot here and then go back in stealth. Good dodge though, very good dodge. Okay, so Drycha overcast that Malkoth, that's not too bad. And actually a Glade Captain, alright. Interesting. Very interesting. Oh, I'm just gonna take more pot shots here. Opponent's gonna be fairly good at dodging. Gotta be a little careful. Those shots are homing, by the way. Thankfully, we have some trees. And then just some dryads in the forest. Not a big deal. Just have to be a little careful here. That we don't get countershot by the Waywatchers. But at the very least, these dryads I can bully a little bit. That was a fairly good volley, too. I'll take that. Oh, dang, that's a lot of dryads. Okay. So there's only a couple Waywatchers then. If I keep falling back, the Waywatchers shouldn't be able to get in range. It's another fairly good volley. We're trading decently. Glade Captain's not going to help so much as far as kiting is concerned. Alright, and we're just going to keep an eye out. Yeah, there they are. Woo! Alright, so they got pretty nasty volley on me. We're just gonna keep bullying those spears, though. There we go. Yeah, so the Way Watchers are playing super defensive. My opponent knows that I have the range advantage here, and they don't want to get wrecked. They don't want to get wrecked by that. If we keep pulling back, though, these guys should not be able to do too much. Whoop. Took a little bit of damage there. Should be able to bully some Dryads at least, though. On my retreat, my poor guys, yeah, they're taking a little bit of heat. Not the most comfortable thing in the world, but I should be relatively okay. Should be able to stealth my lord in too again. Just gotta make sure we don't lose these cap points. Alright, can't get a big shot on those Way Watchers. That'd be the best case scenario. They're gonna try and dodge, and they do manage to get it. Very unfortunate. I actually don't have many Dryads myself, but I do have some basic archers. They should be able to cook fairly decently. Dryads, they certainly take a lot of damage from that. Okay, my lord's fairly fine. Just scouting out the Way Watchers, keeping a close eye on them. That'll give me a fairly nice advantage. Vision is everything in this matchup. And trading value wise, it's kind of even. I think, yeah, it's still kind of anyone's game. Gonna get a little bit of a heal here on these guys. And hopefully we can bully the Way Watchers, though I think they're gonna dodge. So I'm instead gonna go for the normal archers instead. And I think this is a spam normal archers type situation. Oh, dang, it's just volley fire? Alright. It's fire at will over there with those guys. If they don't dodge this, that would be devastating. Oh my god. First big misplay of the game has happened. The Way Watchers are brutalized. Wow. That's the crazy thing about this matchup. It's cutthroat, man. It's absolutely cutthroat. You take one misstep, and then all your units are dead. Alright, so that settles our range advantage. We have a massive range advantage now. I should be able to carry out a fairly nice victory this way. We're just going to heal up my mega elite cavalry over there. Then we're going to hopefully be able to bully some Dryads maybe. And if I keep spamming archers, we're just going to uptrade. My opponent's also fighting on our side of the map, which is very disadvantageous for them. Just trying to help, but she just doesn't really have the mobility to really, yeah, to really save the situation here. Okay, there we go. So Dryads are dead. And then we're going to grab these guys, shoot at the spears. And we're just going to play the Ignore Drycha game. Very fun. But yeah, killing his Hawkeyes, it really seals the deal here. I gotta not get overconfident though. But there's very little my opponent can do now against such a crazy range advantage. Oh man, talk about cutthroat though. That was literally just one misplay. One misplay and then it was completely over. All it took was one volley. Oh my goodness. Alright, so Glade Guard can handle these Dryads, that's for sure. Be able to re-secure that point soon. We'll get more archers here. Also, this is why I don't run like a deep wood scout or something for Arrows of Karnos, because you actually want as many skirmishers as you can in this matchup. It's super important. It's actually quite massively important that you have more shooting than your opponent. All right, nice. So let's heal up the Way Watchers. We should be able to re-secure this point, and that should be the end of my opponent. Hell yeah, let's go. Mirror matching is always terrifying. Yeah, it's just a battle of who can make that one big play. That one volley on his Way Watchers wrecked him so bad. Oh my goodness. Real nail biter of matchup. It's very similar Wood Elves versus High Elves, by the way. Very, very similar. Alright, let's see what some Wild Riders can do. I'm just gonna keep ignoring Drycha. She's a non-issue. Lord will be fine. And there goes the last of the Way Watchers. Huzzah. Yeah, so they're completely dead now. And then we go for the War Dancers. Glade Captain absolutely is not going to be able to do much. I think that's a massive cavalry swarm coming my way. As long as I can not die to that, we'll be fine. So let's just position our ranged to bully them as they show up. And there they are. Yeah, okay, this is the final stretch. If I don't die to this cav swarm, we're good. That means not overextending. Yeah, that just means not overextending. We'll kill off the spears. They'll give me one less thing to worry about here. And we win on a single cap. There's no point doing anything else really. Hey, is that it? I know there's another cav unit. Yeah, there they are. There they are. Oh, actually a couple more. A little spooky. Come on, get the volley off. Yes. All right, that'll do pretty well. Can sandwich these Wild Riders, hopefully. Get them killed. As long as we play this out correctly, I'm okay. There's the slow. We turn on fire at will. And then I start de-summoning. And I think that final push is not going to be enough here, right? I think I just have way too much ranged. Oh crap, another Wild Rider incoming. We're actually running out of ammo. Which is a little awkward. Gonna need a Wild Rider here. Okay, we got the D-summon at least. Yeah, we got our D-summons. Though my opponent's actually kind of pulling through with that cav play. My guy's being D-summoned is a little awkward. Having the specialist cav there is a little sus. I'm still running out of ammo. When you run out of ammo, that's when you're at your weakest. So it does make it a little sketchy. I think in general, with all this cavalry though, I should still be in a perfectly fine situation, right? Especially because my opponent's on the way to being completely army wiped. They did just lose like all of their cav. Drycha can't really do too much here. Yeah, I just gotta re-secure a point and then we'll be okay. So I'm just gonna wait for my more elite cavalry here. Gonna want just a little bit more elite cav. And yeah, it's just spear spam, so... You know what? Actually, that means that these guys are actually pretty hype. Bring them back! Get them back! Alright. And there we go. You're playing the 2v2 later? Yeah. We're actually gonna be playing with Risotto. Should be quite fun. It's going to be glorious. I'm not streaming it though. As yeah, I just want to take it a little easy, you know. There you go, Glade Captain's dead. And victory is ours. I'll just save up for that elite cavalry. Whew. Very spooky. Okay, just another spear unit, thank goodness. Yeah, these spears are not gonna be able to do anything. On a double cap, we're just... Yeah, we're way too comfy here on double cap. I think anything my opponent tries to summon in is just gonna have a rough day. Definitely playing on my side of the battlefield helped out a lot, but that's usually what happens when you have such a massive range advantage. You get to just chill on your side. GG. All right, nice. So that's our first best of 3 of the day. Settled. All right. Oh boy. Mega value on all these guys as usual. These Way Watchers cannot really tussle against so many skirmishers. This was actually quite melee heavy. So I think my opponent kind of lost on the build selection. Drycha was a beast though, but I think if you don't have that vision, the skirmishers are always going to win. And it doesn't really matter how much your lord gets. Alright, so last one was Wood Elves versus Wood Elves. And then the other two I was playing as Slaanesh versus Vampire Count and Vampire Coast. Alright. Predictable, I knew Wood Elves would win that. Yep. Totes. Alright, and we're up against Abdel. Yo, yo. We are up. Alright. Alright. Mr. Abdel Razak. Face me. So we're gonna be on round 2. The map's pretty big. Good to see, good to see. All right, here we go. What's the secret sauce to your duo? Generally speaking, well, I want to spoil it though, just in case my opponent doesn't want it spoiled. You'll see. You'll see, as long as you make it to the turn stream. Alright. Pickin' Banes. I think Wood Elves is by far the safest first pick. My opponent goes for Dark Elves, which is pretty weak sauce. Next match, what's it gonna be? One of the finals, the 8th? Yeah, it's this Saturday. It's coming up quickly. Oh boy. 5 more days till the grand finals, and I'm playing the first round on Friday. Tzeentch? Oh, crap. I have Vampire Counts and Wood Elves. He has Dark Elves and Tzeentch. Okay, well, that's not exactly the most comfortable thing I've ever seen. Empire is fairly safe versus, though. Like, we're not going to pick Norse guns to Tzeentch, right? Nor is Slaanesh a really good idea. This should be okay. Norska, okay. So, Empire, Vampire Counts, Wood Elves against Dark Elves, Tzeentch, and Norska. That's not bad. That's actually not bad. I just have to ban the 2 terrible Tzeentch matchups. I'll get rid of... actually, do Wood Elves beat Tzeentch? Do Wood Elves beat Tzeentch? I feel like Tzeentch is pretty weak sauce, right? In both game modes, people generally regard Tzeentch to be pretty garbage. Yeah, this could be pretty hype. Yeah, so like, I think I would play everything but Vampire Counts into Tzeentch. Empire can beat Dark Elves, Tzeentch, and Norska. Vampire Counts can beat Dark Elves and Norska. Wood Elves can beat Dark Elves, Tzeentch, and Norska? That's not too bad. In fact, he bans the Norsk and Wood Elf matchup. Glorious. And then I'll ban Vampire Count Tzeentch. And then honestly, I'll almost play any of these matchups. They're all kind of great for me. Let's not get overconfident though. I guess I'll ban Vampire Counts Norska. No, that's a matchup I want to be good enough to play in the grand finals. Norska's strong though. You know what? Sure. I'll ban Vampire Count Tzeentch and Norska. As much as I really want to play Vampire Counts, I should save their best matchups. Like, we should be playing devastating matchups. None of these, like, kind of even matchups. Duo Skaven teams. Oh, hey, Can Duel. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. Good luck with the games. Thank you, Renataki. Alright, so what is my opponent banning? There's a lot of great matchups here. I think he'll probably want to play versus my Empire, though. My Empire could use a little bit of work. They're also just not a super strong faction in today's meta. Problem being, they just don't really have anything that can rush. Knights of the Black Rose are really good. But aside from that, yeah, they just don't really have a lot of oomph. Their infantry's just too slow. 30 speed is not enough to have a strong rush. Alright, my opponent's still thinking about his bans. Man. Alright, just gotta not lose to Sipa. I think the reason I'm more stressed about Sipa than other people is because I've played against Attack Speed Enjoyer and Maximilian Era. I know how they play. So I'm pretty confident that I can just win. But Sipa, on the other hand, they're just a little bit unknown. I don't know if they've been on the grind fest or what. So a little sketch. Just a little bit sketch. Alright. Interesting. My opponent banned the Empire matchup. So Empire Tzeentch counts versus Dark Elves, and Wood Elves versus Dark Elves and Tzeentch. Wow. Well, yeah, sure. Let's ban Wood Elves and Tzeentch. I'm gonna do that because I think Wood Elves and Tzeentch is just not a very likely matchup I'll get in the grand finals. And I think it'd be better practice for me to, like, get them against Dark Elves or something, you know? How does a blind 3x3 system work? You have to select 3 blind factions. So the way this one works is that you take turns picking one faction at a time. So you pick one faction, for both players, and they get revealed. Then you pick another faction, and they get revealed. Then you pick another faction, and then they get revealed. The way Turn's doing it, though, is you pick one, and it's shown. Then your opponent picks 2, then you pick 2, then they pick 1. And that gets you your 3x3 matrix. And then the 3x3 matrix is a list of 9 matchups. Both players ban 4 of those matchups. And the middle one is the one that is played. Alright. Dark Elves versus Wood Elves. Ban Chateau. Let's play Dunes. So this is pretty good for Wood Elves. This is pretty nifty. Realistically, the only thing that you have to worry about, I think the only thing you have to worry about is if they go for, like, some sort of mega stall strat. think as long as you manage that, yeah, you're kind of fine, right? I don't know. Personally, I feel like Dark Elves get mulched here. But I am ready to be wrong. Let's see. So, what do I want Lord-wise? Yeah, this is fine. Sometimes they go for shades. That can be pretty nifty. They can take flyers and the like. Those can be a little annoying. I've seen some people go for assassins too. Always just a little awkward to deal with, but honestly, this is as bad as matchups get. I'm really surprised Mr. Razak did not ban this matchup. But I guess we'll see. Maybe I will be proven wrong here this day. Yeah, this looks like just a great build. This looks like if I was playing Dark Elves, I don't know what I would do against this. This just seems positively impossible to deal with. Yeah, and then if I take a couple of these, oh my god, yeah. Yeah, nah, it's over, man. It's over. There's no way. You're gonna participate tomorrow? Oh, hell yeah, man. Happy to hear. You've played against Sipa a couple times. He's got the land battle micro, yeah. Sipa's got some pretty spooky micro. It's not impossible to beat him, though. Like, build-wise, pretty comfortable. Can someone share info on the grand finals? You can't fight on Total Tavern. Yeah, it's not on Total Tavern. It's in a private Discord. The matchups in order is me versus Sipa, Maximilianer versus Attack Speed Enjoyer, Berserk versus Martin, Charix versus B6, Scrambled Eggs versus Blood Penguin, Ulrich versus Navigator, Boss Toss versus Serika, and Danican versus Melkor. I think if we win the tournament, our opponents will be Sipa, Attack Speed Enjoyer, Charix, and then Danican. That's what we're looking at. Spoilers, Anticity wins. I might get knocked out round one. Round one is actually quite volatile. Best of 3 is not really... It's not really the cleanest format. And especially against a fairly strong player like Sipa and then Attack Speed Enjoyer after. I could just lose there. I think as soon as I get to best of 5, we're much more in the clear. It's going to come down to skill. But the problem is that my opponent will be much more skillful. Charix and Danican are insane micro players. So, yeah, not the most comfy. All right. Classic Waywatcher Kite. If he goes for a Cav Rush, we have a million spears. This map has a fairly deep backfield. So I don't think he can just full rush me. This makes me comfortable enough to go for a million Waywatchers. We'll see how it goes. Me versus Charix games are always fantastic. Yeah, it makes for good games. Stressful. Crazy stressful, but yeah. Sipa brings non-meta builds, yeah. Should be able to cook decently, though. Last time, the only way they won against me was bringing 2 Ice Wolf Chariots. Oh no, they brought 4 Ice Wolf Chariots versus my Tomb Kings. And then we won the other 2 matches. So, as long as I don't make those mistakes again, I guess we're probably okay. And like, Ice Wolf Chariots are limited now, so they can't even do that. So I think we'll be fine. All right, this is classic. So you don't walk onto the point so that they don't see the danger of the situation. And you're dead. Woo! Oh my god, I love that so much. These guys have a minus 16 leadership debuff, by the way. So if you get hit by their arrows, you're done routing. You're done gonna get routed. Oh, the humanity. Jeez Louise, and the gun. So that's 1,000 gold down the drain for my opponent. They do get a fairly nice burning head. But that's just an Anticity Classic. Just an Anticity Classic. Dark Riders have been mulched, so now my opponent's Cav Rush is going to be way weaker. They summon in some Corsairs, I think. Corsairs are not particularly good against this build here. So if they're not rushing, well, I guess they do have a lot of infantry, so probably they are rushing. Probably they are rushing. Should be able to get a decent shot here. How good is your dodge? Fairly good. Fairly good. So I shouldn't be wasting ammo on those chariots unless they get way closer. Generally, if you want to kill the chariots, you go for Glade Riders. But there's so much infantry here that I don't really know if that's what I want to do. Let's actually heal up these Dryads. That should be quite nice. I doubt they're going to go for a big chariot rush. That's pretty suicidal. Gonna hit up the Dark Shards. They are shielded, yes, but the damage is through the roof. And okay, so there's a burning head. So are we gonna see a big rush? Well, first things first, we're gonna pummel these Dark Riders. Get them routed. The leadership debuffs there will get them out of there. Very nice. The Hawkeyes of Jakira are insane, by the way. Ooh, some friendly fire too, nice. But yeah, they're positively insane. They barely get the route off on a lot of units. It's great. Are you gonna dodge with those chariots? Dang, Mr. Razak with the dodges. Still gets hit though. Still gets hit. So in general, I'm pretty comfortable. And as long as these guys actually get a fairly safe disengage, using my spears to body block as much as possible, then we should be good. And that means that there's some overextended bleak swords that I can bully. That's very nice. Should be able to get a pretty nice volley there against the crossbows. And yeah, cavalry with that backline fight, they're having a good day. Having a very good day. Dark Riders are just kind of just chilling there. All right. It's a pretty sketch engagement. Burning Head did not go down the pipe though. Engagement was a little too awkward there, so that helps. And as long as my Way Watchers survive the rush, we're fine. I can lose everything else, but if the Way Watchers live, we're good. That's the name of the game. So they're just gonna retreat and stay alive. Dang it. Goodbye, Dark Riders. Nice. All right. Sick. Yeah, and it's just a bunch of Dark Riders. They ain't too bad. I just have to kill them as they come, basically. Oh my god, they keep barely routing, man. They keep barely routing to my dudes. That's so brutal. Gotta not power trip too much though, right? I do have to clear them out fast enough before the tickets become an issue. But an army wipe is good enough. One army wipe and we're settled. If I can route off these spears, that'd be perfect. Looks like they might actually barely hold. That would be mildly problematic. It's just Dark Rider spam though. My Cav should be okay there. Front line's in a little bit of disarray, and there's the... Yeah, there's the passive trigger. So passive trigger makes Dark Elves a lot more scary. And the tickets are actually not exactly the best. It's not exactly the best of cases here. Yeah, this could be slightly better. I think we need some more Cav. We need more Cav to clean up here. But this is actually not the best situation ever. My opponent's getting a lot of value back in that big push. I'm doing a great job keeping these guys alive, but yeah, it could be a little sus. Just a smidge, just a smidge. Definitely a Weight Watcher late game is going to be amazing, but I don't know exactly. I don't know if we can do this fast enough. I have like 2 minutes left right now before I really need to capture a point. Okay, nice. The cavalry's leashing back. That's really good for us. We have our cavalry in here. They're doing great. These guys shouldn't be able to make it to me. Okay, and I think we can... Yeah, we can get some Glade Riders here to maybe capture a flank point. It'll loosen up... If he tries to defend that, it'll loosen up this rather annoying press here that he's got going. Okay, so we're going to kill off the Harpies. We're going to sandwich these guys, right? Should be a fairly good sandwich. Yeah, they're just all dead. Yeah, and you see those Dark Rider summons? I still have a decent amount of time, though, right? Okay, let's be real. I actually have a really nice amount of time. This is probably okay. That sandwich was devastating, by the way. Yeah, and I think the Dark Elves just ran out of oomph. That summon over there, it really let off pressure in the main fight over here. And now we clean up shop, right? Yeah, look at that. He has nothing left. There's like actually just nothing left. All the Dark Riders are over here. So without that constant trickle of Dark Riders, now we go for the mega push. I can loop around back to my main army. And then we'll be okay. Gets a pretty solid burning head though. He's trying to stall for time. Makes a lot of sense. Leadership is not holding up though for these Dark Elves, as they get absolutely pummeled by my cavalry. And as soon as the Weight Watchers crest this hill, then there will truly be absolutely no issue for us. Now, is he going to take this fight? I think if we can just Weight Watcher them first, that'll clear them out much faster. Ooh, good dodge, though. Actually, really good dodge. My opponent is playing it well. Oh, thank goodness for the routes. Oh, jeez. Jeez, thank goodness for how route prone these guys are. All right, first ticket, first capture point by the 1,000 ticket mark. That's a good sign. That's a really good sign for us. So that means that my trading is just barely sufficient enough. And now we go for the next point. Hopefully we can catch some Dark Riders over here. That'd be great. A couple spears in the distance, not a big deal. Get a pretty nice charge there. I feel like he's out of burning heads. You can't be too sure though. Alright, get some spears over here. Doing some good stall strats. Look at that. My opponent's definitely a little scary. He's playing it out really well, I must say. If I can capture this point in the next little bit, we'll be okay. Yeah, they're just pulling away. Look at that. Look at you. All right. Pretty scary. If I can trade cavalry, though, we're fine. I have infantry heading over there. Weight Watchers are doing great. This fight's going pretty decent. Yeah, I don't think they secure this. We'll see, though. Nah, I have cav nearby. Yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Everything's good. Realistically, I just have to trade, right? If I just throw units at the wall and we trade decently, I'll be okay. I can summon in a Dryad very soon. I'll be good. All right. Gonna kill off those Scourge Runners, though. They've been a menace all day, man. All day, I swear. There you go. One Scourge Runner's down. Okay, and I'm gonna have like 4 minutes. Gonna have like 4 minutes, maybe 3 minutes to take this last point. That's a good amount of time. Dark Riders were just summoned here, so there's no way they can steal my points. Okay, maybe closer to 3 minutes. Slightly disconcerting. I still have loads of dudes here, though, right? Like, I have 18 to 12 units. Okay, let's actually bring these guys in. I'll use I'll use an archer over here to handle that. Okay, let's get another Way Watcher volley. There's no point desummoning the Way Watchers. I have no cav to bring in. Okay, yeah, and it's a good thing I brought my guys here. Really did need to pile on. Okay, yeah, we're gonna win with like 2 minutes to spare, I think. That's a fairly good pace. I think for how favored the matchup is, that's a little closer than I would have hoped for. But a win's a win. So now my opponent's probably gonna save up money to swarm this point. But if I keep spamming infantry here, I'll be okay. Oh, dang, they already have Dark Riders there. That's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Might have misplayed that then. Well, we get this point. Miss micro on the Manticore, maybe? Ooh, massive, massive misplay on the Manticore. Manticore gets thumped in the face. That's going to be problematic for my opponent. All right. 1 unit of Dark Riders here is not going to be enough to hold this point. I just have to summon in my cavalry as soon as I can, and then we'll be a-okay. But yeah, Manticore got mega thumped. There we go. There's the cav. We just shoot these guys up. Get the Way Watchers on them. And yeah, okay. 2 minutes to spare. 2 minutes to spare. Technically, even if he did capture this point, we would have still won. So I guess even there, we're not too worried. Does get another Dark Rider, though. But my cav has made it. Wood Elves are fast. And yeah, my opponent sees the writing on the wall. GG. Not bad, not bad. I think that went, yeah, that went about how I would have wanted it to. When your opponent's really good at dodging, it's scary, though. Like, against a lesser Wood Elf player, they just wouldn't get the deeps out to actually win it. Some really good spell casting there. I always take the Tempest Lord because I think you can win without optimal magic. And you want to shut down something like a Marathi, right? Just have an auto win against a Flying Lord. I think that's just a much better way to play it out. And of course, healing's really good. Keeps your Way Watchers alive. Let's play Empire versus Tzeentch next. And I'll ban Proving Grounds. Proving Grounds is the awkward map? Yeah. Please show the reinforcing army? Crap, my bad. I think it was all Dark Riders. That was stressful. Honestly, not the worst for me. I felt fairly comfortable and in control most of the time. I was a little worried that I wouldn't get the first point in time, but if you get it at like the 1,000 ticket mark, you're really in the clear. So there's some seriously fraudulent things going on with the value meter. I'm really hoping CA fixes the value meter. Come DLC time. Really hoping for that. But yeah, Empire versus Tzeentch. In general, I would say this matchup is quite good for Empire. I feel like they just have a ludicrous number of tools to deal with whatever Tzeentch throws our way. Now, maybe I'm gravely mistaken, and I'm about to get wreckaronied. But I feel like Tzeentch just doesn't have the chops to win this. The problem is that the Tzeentch Soul Grinder it's just ludicrously expensive. The thing eats your money up like no one's business. So I don't know. This is actually a matchup where greatswords can do pretty well, by the way. By the by. Nolan Ironsides are nice, but on this map, they're a little janky. I might actually pass on them. And then, like, yeah, you gotta worry about Zongors and the like, but can't be that bad. All the Centigores here are pretty expensive. And we do have a counter to them, even. So, yeah, this looks like a good build. It's a pretty disgusting build, by the way. Tzeentch versus Empire, 40% win rate for Tzeentch. Yeah. So we'll see if we can just clutch it out. And then turns 2v2 tournament. This good old 2v2 tournament. Who's starting soon. Daniken's facing Ulrich Wall right now. Terrifying. If I can 2-0 Daniken, we're in a good place. Oh boy. Right now, I think his factions are Dark Elves, Khorne, and Grand Cathay. I almost just want to ban his Grand Cathay because it makes my Wood Elf pick weaker. Either that or I figure out how to beat his Grand Cathay with Wood Elves, but screw that business. I think we just ban his Grand Cathay. It's so dumb. But I'm actually more used to facing his Dark Elves. Come on, they gotta fix the value meter, right? What are the delays for if not to fix things? Have you thought about doing a limited access stream of tourneys that you don't want to do a full cast of? Might raise some revenue. I've thought about it like a little bit, but like, I like when I'm streaming, I want as many people as possible to see it. Yeah. And like, it doesn't matter if I'm doing a limited stream or a full stream. The amount of effort I have to put in is the same. Because like what I really want is to like, you know, watch some YouTube videos between rounds and all that when I want to take a tournament casually. So unfortunately, I don't think it really works. Sadly. When are you gonna get Tzeentch #1 on the leaderboard? I can start having these grand schemes after the grand finals. All right, then I can have some fun again. For now, though, we're doing ultra tryhard. Dude, I've been grinding non-stop, man. I'm happy it's finally gonna be over, but it is actually eating me alive right now, the stress. Oh boy. Like, even though I'm doing really well in these tournaments, like I literally did not lose a single game yesterday, it's still stressful. I guess technically we did lose one today. We lost one Slaanesh versus Coast. A little uncomfortable. It's a little uncomfy. You know, if armor spam beats Coast, I guess armor spam loses to crabs, right? I think Coast is just good versus Slaanesh. I don't know. It seems like they're quite strong. And the whole Silostra summon to just get Cav. Just surprise Cav to kill everything. I don't know. The only thing I can think of that would do maybe well against Coast is like you spam a lot of infantry. And then you, you take like an absurd amount of infantry. And then you use the Slaanesh lore passive. And you spam it out. But Vampire Coast in general, if you don't have any shooting, it's a bad time. Halfling DLC next? Yeah, totes. I just want them to release 40k, man. Just start fresh. On a new engine. A game that actually works. Because I think all the code build-up for Total War is catching up to CA, right? Like, I'm pretty sure it's just the spaghetti code madness. Because a lot of these issues, in theory, are quite fixable. But with how long the game has existed, like, you just get exponentially, okay, maybe not exponentially, but you get a lot. It'll take a lot longer to actually fix things that should be fairly simple. So maybe, or Age of Sigmar. Look, I just want the next Warhammer themed game. As much as I love Warhammer 3, man, this last year has kind of made me go kaput. Yo, Zach's taking a while to make his build. What are they building up? I think the big problem here is that you outrange Tzeentch pretty hard. Oy. I wonder how Danican and Ulrich Wall is going. Let the man cook. Alright. There goes. I think this is terrible for Tzeentch, but he played a pretty mean fight in the other match. Like, that was some pretty good Dark Elf play against Wood Elves. Like, even Danican, you know. I feel like when last time I played Wood Elves versus Danican, it was quite favored for me. I did have the wild, like the riding skirmishers, the cav skirmishers. That worked out pretty well for me. You know, some exec is gonna make the decision to build 40k on top of the existing Warhammer engine. Yeah. Games generally, they lose a lot of their charm when when you don't have that passion in them. Also, by the way, this is my 8 skirmisher build. Engineers don't count as skirmishers. I should probably note that. I should probably probably note that. All right. Let's go. But yeah, basically this is just the Ultima Kite. I have Searing Doom for any Centigores he has. I have a truly ludicrous number of kite units. If he has a Soul Grinder, it's getting shot into oblivion. And it also can't really do that well versus Outriders. He also has Final Transmutation and Searing Doom, interesting. And it's gonna be Spawn, 2 Zongor, some Chaos Warriors, and there he is. The Soul Grinder of Tzeentch. So first things first, you get the Engineers in. You want to get Mercurial Shot on the armor there. My opponent is definitely without a proper rush. So that should make life fairly simple for me here. And okay, he's gonna get a little dude over there. Okay. Well, this is gonna be pretty painful. Double Mercurial Shot. Ooh, a little bit of overkill. But half HP down already on those guys. Pretty rough. Pretty rough. Now the Outriders cook. Yeah. I think we can dodge that. Partial dodge? Alright, yeah, decent dodge, decent dodge. But yeah, already with the double cap, I am feeling fairly comfortable here. Couple blues. You get a few shots in, not too much though. And then I can abuse their now fairly heavy lack of shields. Soul Grinder's also kind of out of position. Not looking the bestest. Gelt was a little late to the party, sadly, but I should be fine. He's shooting my Engineer. He actually has a lot of armor, so that's not going to do too much. And there we go. We've successfully killed off one of the blues. Nice. So they're gonna crumble away. No problem with that. And now what? Your one soul grinder is not enough versus. One soul grinder is kind of hilarious even against this because it's gonna take actual millennia to clear all this stuff out, right? There you go. Look at them go. Killing it. Gonna get the final transmutation on. I think that was the wrong target. I think we hit the blues instead. Alright. Should still be fine. I think we can focus fire this guy. Oh, he's transmuting me. Well, that's a little unfair. He's bullying Miguel. Should still be a big old turkey shoot though. Oh, dang, he really hates Gelt. Alright. Well, at least the exalted hero here is getting bullied. He will die. Point blank, yeah, point blank shots are nothing to scoff at. It's one of the reasons why chasing war wagons is a very bad idea. They will wreck your face. Another mercurial shot to bully those guys over there. And as you can see, the soul grinder sucks. Against this, the soul grinder is doing actually nothing. All right, nice. And now we advance towards the enemy. Charge. Charge. He gets a Searing Doom. We can dodge it. That was actually a pretty nice dodge. Dang. I impress even myself. Let's see. Look at that soul grinder. It's some demi knights, I guess. All right. And second mercurial shot on the Zongors. Huzzah. Oh, that poor little glob of infantry there. They're gonna get routed. Their leadership's low enough where if I just go for this big charge, they're getting shot at from all angles. They're gonna get the flank debuff. Units will be getting yeah, they'll be getting all the penalties really. Should be able to route them. Yep, there you go. Some Zongors get routed. Very nice. Now Gelt's probably gonna die soon, but the battle's gonna be done by then. Soul Grinder has been sufficiently ignored this game. That's a big old route. And then we just have to kill off them spawn. Who are kind of grinding fairly well. One of the... Oh, that's Chosen of Tzeentch. No wonder you had no units. All right, that explains some things. Well, it looks like my... yeah, if they were Chaos Warriors, that would have been much better for me. Probably should not have taken that fight then. I should still be okay though, as this final transmutation that should cook fairly well. We have another mercurial shot. I do still have 2 capture points. Whoops, some camera work needs to be done. Ooh, can I get the dodge? Indeed we can. There we go. Oh, you use the spawn summon too. Okay, that makes sense. He also has a lot of Furies. Alright, maybe I did not play this as perfectly as I could have. At least the Soul Grinder's out of ammo, having mostly amounted to nothing. Okay, there we go. There we go. We'll be okay. Gelt's on the run though, but I'm sure he'll be back. Let's just line up the boys, get our shots in. More Furies are here, but I got my Cav. Yeah, okay. And then I just gotta chuck a mercurial shot in here, right? Maybe. Eh, not bad. Not bad. Gets a little bit of work in. And the Furies we can kill. In fact, you can kill them with the chariots. You can actually just run them over. It's pretty fun. Age of the Sweaty Tau Weave. Dude, I'm gonna play Tau so much. People are gonna hate it. Oh man. I've always, ever since I was a kid, I've had a liking to factions that let your opponent have no fun. Something about the powerlessness of your opponent to do literally anything is just Very fun for me. And now I can start replenishing ammo on the wagons that did not lose entities. That'll make them quite a bit stronger. Gets a final transportation, not a big deal. You ain't gonna capture this point, not anytime soon. And the shooting continues. Soul Grinder's been out of ammunition for ages. Not gonna be a big deal. And capture weight is a little bit too much for us now. Nice. So at least I know we probably don't have to worry about Tzeentch that much. Makes life fairly simple. No, we're almost getting his Lord too. If he loses his Lord, that's definitely a game over situation. Hey, we got the Exalted Hero. Nice. Ooh, brutal. Shot in the back, man. Alright, yeah, so he's dead. Oh, dang, his Lord also routed too. Holy crap. Look at that guy. Yeah, I think he's gone. I think he's totally gone now. And the Exalted Hero should be dead soon. And the slow push Kite Empire prevails. Now, where is he sending those Furies? Looks like onto my Terror Routed Outriders. Okay. Should be okay, because they come back. And then we can countercharge. Then shoot up this guy. Get the Gelt back. In the end, if you think about it, it's kind of like he spent a couple dozen winds of magic to kill off an 800 gold unit. So generally, I'd say that's a good time for us. And just like that, victory is ours. Every point of HP on your Lord at the end of the battle is an unspent resource. Yeah, there you go. That's what I like to hear. Okay, seriously though. Gelt is so cheap, he's actually just not worth sniping. If you ever have a hard time against people sniping your Lord, the solution is to bring a cheaper Lord. It doesn't matter if they die, you'll be fine. Alright, can we get this Soul Grinder kill finally? I see a juicy final transportation. Bada boom. Bada bing. I think I did that in reverse order, but it's okay. Is he gonna capture this flank point? I don't think so. He's kind of stuck on Fury Summons now. There's basically no way for him to come back. There's just too much Empire. And all his money is in Furies, who are not especially great at dealing with this. Let's take a look at the value on the Soul Grinder. Barely paid for itself. Barely paid for itself, took the entire game and I was ignoring it, and it had optimal targets. That's a sign of a unit that is bad. So victory is ours. Outriders are pretty good. The War Wagons were better though. Engineers were amazing. 15,000 a pop. Gelt with the sick final transportation, super cheap. And then my capture weight infantry, they kind of just trade. Not bad, not bad. That Chosen though, Chosen sticking around. Only 400 value though, it's terrible. His Exalteds did worse. Or no, maybe about the same. This one did slightly better. GG. Well, nice. Solid 2-0. So that's Empire versus Tzeentch and Wood Elves versus Dark Elves. So that was a situation where we just kind of had good matchups. Which puts us in the finals. Who will win? Danican or Ulrich Val? Alrighty. Here we go. Engineers are actual insane heroes. Yeah, they got nerfed too. Fun fact, if CA nerfs a unit, there's a 50% chance that they're still really good and you should run them. Every time they nerf a unit, I keep taking them. It's a good sign. The other 50% of the time, though, they become absolute hot garbage. So you gotta watch out. But yeah, Mercurial Shot is a crazy ability. It's very strong. And yeah, look at the missile strength on these guys. 545 AP. They will mulch all single entities, man. Like, you saw those exalted heroes of Tzeentch, right? They just couldn't really get on top of them. I wish I could have gotten the great swords in, though. They're really nice against Chaos Warriors and Chaos Warriors and the Zongors. Yeah, it's super accurate for being like a multi-shot gun. Very accurate. Little minigun dudes. Ooh. If only Malachi had the same gun, yeah. I think Dwarf Engineers, for some reason, Empire Engineers have caught up to Dwarf Engineers, and that just doesn't sit right. You've also seen people bring a Luminarch and Landship here. You need a very flat map for the Luminarch to actually shoot. Landship is pretty fun, though. I guess Luminarch, it kind of counters Flying Lords, like Kairos. Those super easy to hit guys, yeah, Luminarch would be really annoying. It's actually pretty jokes. Just Luminarch them. I don't like it because it's very inconsistent. Landship is pretty jokes, though. You can just... yeah, it's basically a big war wagon. Does it die to Soul Grinder? 10,000 HP is pretty ludicrous. But yeah, Tzeentch just don't have a lot of tools. Poor faction. What are they to do? Oh yeah, they really have nothing. I guess you can spam blues and pinks and maybe just weather the storm. That wouldn't be the worst. Empire does have to kind of factor in something to deal with blues and pinks. Get one of those Twitch style marble games while we wait. Okay, nice. We have a game to spectate. Huzzah. Danican versus Ulrich Val. Is it Ratatouille? Yeah, you can kind of go for like some horror spam. You can go for a really slow push on Empire. I'm pretty sure with the restock ammunition, you still die though. Like, with 2 engineers, you have so much ammo. Alright, here we go. Gonna be spectating Danican versus Ulrich Val. I suppose they're in the ace match. And what? Is it actually Slaanesh versus Dark Elves? Is Danican really trying to cook Slaanesh v Dark Elves? What a mad lad. What a mad lad. What's the counter to Glade Guard spam? Artillery. Artillery and long range fire. So you're talking like other, you can use skirmishers, like if you're playing High Elves. You can also use artillery, but you can also use stuff like lead belchers and long rifles. Because when you force the Wood Elves to really heavily push up in the map, that is when you can actually get some pretty sick plays. Then a little bit of cavalry diving into them. Armored cav is really good there. Just not infantry spam. Don't spam infantry. Infantry spam is so bad versus Glade Guard spam. The problem is most people only know how to do infantry builds, so... No, Heavy Cav is good. Heavy Cav is good, but you gotta make them advance first, because Heavy Cav in the Wood Elf backline, that's just gonna get you murdered. You're just gonna... yeah. You're just gonna get wrecked. Skirmishers won't really counter Glade Guard spam. They have too long range. I don't know, man. As a guy who exclusively kites Wood Elves with Skirmishers, I disagree. You kind of have to position in a way so that not all of them can shoot. So that they eat like 5 to 6 volleys at once. And they only get 1 volley back. But... you know, maybe it's not a counter, though, because you have to be pretty good at kiting to make it work. But in theory, if you use your stealth, then they shouldn't be able to hurt you too bad. But, yeah, maybe not like a proper counter. It's doable, though. You do need long-range skirmishers, though. Like, you can't be playing Dark Elves using Shades or something. You mean most skirmishers? Oh, yeah, I guess that could be misinterpreted. Yeah, I'm specifically talking about High Elf and Wood Elf skirmishers. Those will counter Glade Guard. Don't try to beat them. You don't beat Glade Guard spam with, like, Marauder Horsemen. That would be insane. Yes, yes. To be absolutely clear, don't do that. You will die. You will die so quickly. You wish Gate Guard for Cathay were as good as being as good at being ranged heroes. Oh my god, yeah. If they gave Cathay Empire Engineers instead of Gate Guard, it's a different game. Even Way Watchers versus Glade Guard spam, Glade Guard win. Like I can literally say that I've won the matchup handily using Deepwood Scouts against like Wood Elf players, like Attack Speed Enjoyer, like we're talking like, you know, a Wood Elf main versus my kite. Like I don't know what to say, man. I don't know. It just works. But generally, that's a much harder to play strategy than just taking artillery. Like if you just want to beat Glade Guard, just spam Lead Belchers or like a Sunmaker and make sure Arrows of Kronos doesn't kill you. Then you should be good. Should be good. Yeah, you have to position your skirmishers at the edge of the range of the Glade Guard, because they can't stack their Glade Guard together, right? So you can kind of make a semicircle around one of their range units, get one devastating volley off, route them, and then you pull back into stealth. And then they suffer. You just rinse and repeat that 24/7. But you can't take your shots from inside. Like, you have to be at the edge of their range. If you're too deep, you can't dodge. Technically, if you do it well too, they have to, well, they can't really shoot back at you if they're dodging your shot. So your shot will connect. And because you're pulling back immediately, most of their arrows will actually miss. So you have to come out of stealth, shoot at them, go back into stealth, and then dodge whichever volley they got going your way at an angle at their formation. Which is a lot to do, but in theory, if you actually manage it consistently, it should be winning for the skirmishers. At least that's kind of what I've experienced every time I've tried it out. But I do agree that it's not a counter, because we were talking about counters earlier. I think it's like a playstyle that works, but like against two evenly skilled players, it's kind of sketchy. It can still go either way, so yeah. And usually you do need a couple Glade Guard of your own. It's sketchy. Don't let Belchers counter everything. Not being rushed. Ogres are actually surprisingly susceptible to being rushed. So this is actually the matchup we just played. Danican is running Cold One Knights, though, which is different from the Dark Rider Spain. He's going for the Dark Sorceress. All right. Malcots and Pendulum. And we're going to see a bunch of Glade Guard here now. I might leave the match if it continues to lag. I think usually Ulrich Rahl is the source of lag. Oh boy, that's bad though. I'll give it a second and then I'll leave if it lags. Yeah, this is pretty bad. How much wins does Power of Darkness give? I think it's 18 wins of magic. Most of it goes into your reserves, though. Like, I think you get a net loss in your current wins of magic because it costs 4. But because it goes into your reserves... Yeah, you get like a net loss of like 1 magic and then plus your reserves. So it's not bad. Chevroning my Outriders can literally more than double their potential value. I've never, ever liked chevroning my Outriders. Because in my head, you win if your Outriders shoot regardless. The thing that ends the game is if your Outriders die, right? So like, I don't want to risk that. It makes my build more susceptible to getting countered. I'm aware it helps the DPS a lot though. It's just, it's way too risky in my head. Okay, looks like the lag has subsided. Very nice. But like every time I see my opponent chevron the Outriders, I'm like, hell yeah. Because then I have my counter ready and then I get to kill a 1,000 gold unit instead of a 700 gold. Arrows of Kronos #1 hits the Manticore. Middling damage.
The enemy has captured one of your victory points.
Very mild damage. Ulrich Rahl's actually, or Danican's actually doing pretty well here. He's bullying the Waystalker with chariots of all things. I guess the Waystalker doesn't have that much HP. At 3,700, he's pretty squishy. There's a net though. Ulrich Rahl, getting 1 Scourge on a pick. Definitely ultra value. But a Malcot's counterpunch on the Sisters of Thorn. Gonna be doing a little bit. Danican has a lot of magic to spend. And he's kind of gearing up for a longer game. That's why you had that little sorceress at the beginning. Interesting to see them get desummoned right away though. I guess that makes sense. Danican wants to make sure his army isn't too small. So basically, he spent 250 gold for some extra magic in the long run. Don't know how I feel about that. That's a decent amount of money. But the Malcots on elite cavalry is definitely going to make up for it. It gives you only an extra 11 wins of magic? Really? Did I miscalculate? 11 wins is not that great. It's only 2 more Malcots. And if the caster costs 500 gold, it's a little sus. But we'll see. It's all about them premium Malcots targets. Waystalker being very annoying to this Supreme Sorceress. Gets another Malcots on the Sisters of Thorn. So you got 2 Malcots on the Sisters. Each Malcots gets them about 200 gold value. So technically, at full optimization of value, you would expect 400 gold for each time he brings in the Sorceress. She costs 250, so every time he brings her in, that's an extra 150 gold swing. But only if your magic is fully optimal and you get to the late game where you actually use the magic. I don't know. I feel like it breaks even a little bit too much. And yeah, the healing is going pretty well too. A little bit of a earth blood on these sisters. As long as they don't die, they can keep generating value. And Dark Elves, I don't feel too comfortable here with them. Now, yes, Danican has a pretty decent amount of value. Gets the not quite Doom Bolt off on the Glade Lord using some Doomfire Warlocks. So Danican's really playing for the late game here. The sorceress, the magic, and his Doomfire Warlocks are all screaming, I want to get to the late game. Because these guys take a long time to get their abilities off. So, yeah. That means we shouldn't expect an engagement anytime soon. The general rule of thumb, you want to start pushing before your opponent gets to the 700 ticket mark. So Danican is going for that play. He gets a pretty nasty pendulum. Ooh, look at that. That's some value, actually. Holy crap. That's like 500 gold right there. Pretty good. Closer to 400. Not bad. Not bad. But is his push strong enough? So Danican is obviously trying to make use of his passive, Murderous Prowess. That's what we're looking at. If most of these units are still in melee when Murderous Prowess procs, Danican is in a happy situation. We see some Corsairs to fight in some Dryads. Dryads get charged by some Dread Spears. The charges overall are a little lackluster, and a lot of Danican's push was actually denied. So Ulrich Rahl basically used their superior mobility to deny flank. High level play. But that's going to make Danican's charge way weaker, because now you have a lot of units that are not doing anything. And a lot of units that are just dying. Potentially we could see some routes with some focused plays over here. Coursers get charged by Wild Hunters, but they actually do a lot of damage back. And Danican's setting up for a bit of a flank. Oh, look at this. Soul Blight reducing the damage on the Glade Guard, bringing their armor down to 0-2. So now they're taking full damage from everything that gets on top of them. That's actually a pretty big pick. That's 1,500 gold. Danican looking to get into that cookie jar. Now it ain't over yet. We're still waiting for that Murderous Prowess on the Danican side, and the Wood Elves, they could potentially clean this up. When you get this deep into your opponent's backline, damage is going to be through the roof. Doomfire Warlocks, kind of sus, kind of sus. Vigor is getting low. Danican's dying for that Murderous Prowess proc. And one Corsair routes. There it is, though. Only one unit routed. So that means he's getting the maximum amount of value on this ability. If you think about the ability in terms of how valuable it is, it's huge. 25% melee attack, charge bonus, and almost the same amount of AP missile damage, and 15 leadership plus a full vigor reset. This spell is like 30 winds of magic at least, right? This is crazy. It's a super high level play, and it's probably going to help Danican up trade here in this big fight. He's also captured 2 points, which means that ticket wise he's actually doing okay. He just has to maintain the advantage. Doombolt. Oh my god, the double Doombolt on the Glade Lord. She's suffering. Glade Lord pick would be huge here. Not because she can't be resummoned, or she can be resummoned, but if she dies, it slows down the Wood Elf ability to recapture points. This is looking pretty bad. This is looking pretty bad for Ulrich Rahl. That passive trigger was just a little bit too much. A swift dive on the range units. The Doomfire Warlocks are having a field day. Yeah, the Doom. Doom has been brought to the land of the Wood Elves. Oh my god, and the passive's still going. Look at that. They're all perfect vigor. Perfect vigor is huge, by the way. Look at that. It's 39 melee attack compared to the 32 of the tired Wild Riders. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. You can't let the Dark Elves get that passive trigger. If you don't have an aggressive enough build, you are in for a rough time. And even triple capping is not going to force them. Usually, I like to use skirmishers to try and get them to aggress a little sooner. But yeah, this is pretty rough. Really well-timed attack, I think. Danican showing that he is a force to be reckoned with. Even in a matchup that is apparently disastrous for the Wood Elves. I think Wood Elves had a few too many archers. It's true, they had a lot of archers against what is essentially a full rush strat. Now the passive is gone on all the fielded units, but anything that gets summoned in is going to have the passive for another 90 seconds. So basically the way the late game goes is that Daniken's just going to spam cavalry from now on. And the cavalry is just going to be stacked. Alright, they're going to make it to the field. They're still going to have murderous prowess. And they're going to crush everything that they run into. Another Doom Bolt. Hits the Glade Lord. Now they're still alive, but that means they're probably going to die in the late game. Let's check value on the Supreme Sorceress. Pretty good value, pretty good value. Gets another Melkots on the Sisters of Thorn. And there's basically nothing left now, right? There's basically nothing left. I see what is essentially nothing for the poor Wood Elves. That's gonna be game. Daniken wins! He wins! What a menace. I can't believe he's winning that matchup. Pretty terrifying. We're gonna be facing this man, Daniken. Let's take a look. Doomfire Warlocks actually did pretty good. We've scouted out his build though. We know what he's doing. Yeah, lots of value on her. Pretty brutal. Only 2 Scourge Runners too. But yeah, if you want to counter this, generally you just need a handful of Skirmishers. And then you can bully the Scourge Runner Chariots. You need like fast Skirmishers. Sisters of Thorn are a little risky. A little risky to take. So, yeah. Now, Daniken. He likes corn. He likes Dark Elves, and he likes Grand Cathay. That's what we're gonna have to deal with. How do I deal with Grand Cathay? Like, I obviously want to pick Wood Elves, right? That's my starter. They're also just good. But, yeah, Grand Cathay's gonna be a problem. They're gonna be a problem, man. Ooh. What else do I have? I got Norska. I could go for a safer Norska pick, because I think they'll do well against basically all his factions. His first faction's Dark Elves, alright. Let's see here. I think Vampire counts as fine. Empire, wowza, alright. Norska counts. If he's going Empire Dark Elves though, Slaanesh, the Temptation. The Temptation is strong. It is my main faction. Ogres is not the greatest versus Empire, so let's go for this. Slaanesh Vampire counts and Norska against his Dark Elves, his Empire, and his last faction, which is going to be Khorne. Fine by me. That's actually totally fine, so. Map is Celestial Lake, Eastern Isle Colony, and the Arena. Fairly open maps. I think Khorne. I'm actually surprised he didn't go for Grand Cathay. Vampire count should do well against Dark Elves Empire. Norska should be winning versus all of them. Although Daniken specifically, it seems like he's comfortable against Norska. I think I'd probably ban his Dark Elves versus Norska. That just sounds cursed. And Slaanesh is only slightly bad versus Empire. So like, I think I'll ban Slaanesh Empire, counts Khorne, and Norska Dark Elves. That seems like a fairly strong lineup. Yeah, Daniken, he played pretty well. He's spooky, man. He's a fairly strong rush player. Like, I think Charix is better at kite. Daniken is better at rush. They both have exquisite cav micro. So what'll he ban? He'll probably ban Slaanesh Dark Elves. He might just ban all the Slaanesh matchups. Alright. He banned Slaanesh Dark Elves. Who would have guessed? Alright. So what are his other two bans? Is he gonna ban Vampire Counts versus Dark Elves? That might be one he's trying to practice. If I can just assure myself that we can win my counts into his Dark Elves, it's fine though. It's pretty simple, just DPS checking the Dark Elves. There's a lot of ways they can just lose that matchup outright. Vampire Counts versus Empire, as far as I'm concerned, is quite close. But I don't know if Daniken actually has the builds to win that. I should be able to do fine there. Norska versus Empire is weird though. That means I gotta rush. A little terrifying. Yeah, I think if you do a delayed push, you want to make it where you don't have to triple cap to win. I think that's how these delayed pushes win. You think Wood Elves also had... Oh, I already read that. Okay. So what we're going to see is Norska versus Empire and Khorne. Slaanesh versus Empire. It's interesting that he wants a Slaanesh versus Empire game. I could ban a Norska matchup. Norska versus Empire. I think in a tournament, I would rather do it this way. Yeah, I would rather ban Norska Empire. So we have our matches. Slaanesh versus Empire, Counts versus Dark Elves, and Norska versus Khorne. Sketchy. Sketchy, sketchy. I think these are all generally in my favor, though. And all matchups that I'm used to, except for Slaanesh versus Empire. So that's generally a good sign for my pick and bans. You played a Warhammer 2 tournament. How's it different from Warhammer 3? Well, we have Domination mode now, which is quite a different game mode. Generally, there's fewer rules, but the game is not as simple as a typical land battle. Though people do still host those tournaments. And to prevent cheese, there's actually Conquest mode now, which is quite nice. He wants to play Dark Elves Counts first. All right. Ban Celestial Lake. Let's play Eastern. Eastern Owl Colony. That's pretty crazy that Daniken wants to play on this map, but okay. I'm gonna start Warhammer 2 trauma dumping again. Now we're good. Okay, so last time I played this matchup against Daniken, we won. Weird, I can't change factions. Does that mean we're experiencing lag? No, it seems like it's worked out. Okay. But yeah, last time I played this matchup, it was pretty comfy for me. The rough idea is that he can't really spam archers because he'll die to White Kings. So he's screwed to the end. That's basically it, right? Dark Elves generally don't do that well versus the main tide. I'm really interested to see, though, what he has in store for me. Daniken may have cooked up something crazy. But yeah, it seems like there's a little lag, so Daniken's gonna host. But yeah, as far as my theory is concerned, Dark Elves don't have enough DPS. We'll see though. Let's see. You all know I love Wind of Death here. You have an obscene game mechanic question? Does the War Shrine of Tzeentch buff your allies as well? I think it does. That's how the last 2v2 tournament was won, wasn't it? Didn't they just, yeah, go for like a Tzeentch War Shrine, kill a bunch of Bretonnian peasants, and then... and then the game was over? Pretty funny. as a strat. I think if you're able to rush down the war shrine, you can still win it, but definitely pretty funny. Not a strategy that I'm going in the 2v2 tournament, but yeah. Interesting. Yeah, let's just try this. I want to see what Daniken has cooked up. So he could have a mass archer build. Maybe just a crazy range line here, and that just wins it. The blue scribes can get up to 190% spell mastery. I think spell mastery is cool. A lot of these spell mechanics are good, but they kind of have a rough time. Oh geez, are we lagging? We might be lagging. Oh no, not the vampire count's lag. Okay, it's settling a little bit. Yeah, as far as I can tell, it sets your army back quite a bit. Usually people spend a lot of money to get all these spell shenanigans. So if you can end the game quickly, I think you can win it. But anyways, let's see how this goes. So I have a bunch of zombies. We have the doggos. We got crypt ghouls. Daniken has 9 units. He's gone for Malekith and a Raven Herald. Interesting. Do the Raven Heralds cook here? Interesting. Well, I'm definitely incentivized here to just full rush. Corsairs versus White Kings is a little awkward, I guess. But if we just get some Fell Bats here and chase the Raven Heralds, do I really have to worry? Probably not too much. Looks like he's going for this side, so my White Kings will go there too. Malekith doesn't really have a lot of DPS. Should be a little sketchy for him. Okay, yeah, he's going for the corpse cart. So in theory, if I just kind of walk forwards here, I'll be okay.
Keep it from the foe.
It's not like a crazy amount of magic or anything. So yeah, I'm just gonna distract Malekith maybe. Oh, that's pretty painful. All right, that was a smart play. Smart play indeed. Okay, Malekith's always gonna be busy though, dealing with these Fell Bats. If I can just keep him busy for the rest of his life, I'm happy. Okay, yeah, the Fell Bats can get a few shots in on the corpse card, but it heals, man. And it can dodge! Yeah! It's so dumb. But yes, we did get him with the Dread Corpse Cart dodge. Fear me, Daniken. You've seen a corpse cart dodge before? Alright, so now he's spamming in harpies, but we're just gonna go for the big push. I think a triple cap is fine enough for me. Gonna get a little bit of a little bit of Corsair hits, but I think we're still doing totally fine. Still a little bit of damage on the White Kings. Do I care though? The answer is no. Malekith is extremely expensive. It's not like you can really deal with that situation super well. I'll probably get Blood Knight soon. Yeah, I think we'll probably get Blood Knight soon. I'll pull these guys back for the healing. And then we can start chasing these guys. Blood Knights! It's time! So it'll be pretty hype. Should be able to push onto this capture point too. As long as we keep on healing, I'll be okay. There you go. So this is the thing about vampire counts, right? You can just take a bit of skirmish damage, but if you heal back up, everything's fine. White Kings are chilling. They're having a great time. And there's a capture. So we've now put Daniken on a timer. Does have some Corsairs over here. That's a fairly strong trade for him. And Malekith is getting some work done. Admittedly, that is mildly annoying. I have also overextended past my corpse cart. The rule of thumb is to stay close. Stay close to your carts, man. Don't unblob from them. There's no amount of blob punish that can actually work here. So yeah, we're just gonna run back with the horrors. And then we're gonna get the Blood Knights in, bully Malekith a bit. This left side looks fairly good for us. So what do I want, really? I don't know. Should be able to kill off at least a couple Corsairs here. That should be pretty hard to dodge. Let's see it. Ooh. Okay, 1.5 Corsairs. If you, if you get a Winds of Death on infantry, it's not really dodgeable. Not really. It's nice. That's gonna slow down his deeps a lot, actually. Or do I want a Mortis engine here? Probably not. We're probably just resummoning in the White King. Should be able to charge Malekith. He's gonna want to get a big spell off, but I don't think that sets us back really. He has a lot of flying units too, which aren't really participating in the fight. So there's the spell cast. I don't think that really does it though. We'll see, however. He's gonna want some capture weight here soon. We are up trading though against all odds, which is generally a really bad sign. And like, I'm just taking the hits. Like, these corpse carts, they heal so much, it really doesn't matter. And my Blood Knights are cooking against good old Malekith. Just check out a Scab Scrath over there. Okay, yeah, he has some Crows of Cain on me. He has some Cold One Knights coming in, so gotta be a little careful. But these Blood Knights, the Blood Knights, they cook. He's going for my corpse cart. All right, gonna have to dodge with that. I'll save it with my infantry. That should do. I'm gonna get a nice Winds of Death. I'm gonna get the doggies in there. Stop them from moving. Actually, I don't want to Winds of Death my own dogs. Oh, my dogs. Oh, that's a misplay. Big misplay. I kind of needed that damage. Well, at least it's still triple cap. And I guess if we hang around the corpse cart, it'll be fine. Did he kill the corpse cart? No, it lives. How are the Blood Knights doing? They're doing okay. Dang, I wish this lag wasn't so bad, though. Is this a main tide? We're main tiding. Danican is playing a more Norma style. Ooh, those dogs, though. Oh, my God. I let him get beat up. They got absolutely devastated. Song impression? Oh my gosh, you guys. Let's not get into that. Okay, let's see. Come on, don't lag out on me. Oof, man. Lag's been pretty bad for Warhammer lately. Hopefully he reconnects though. Come on, Danny. Hold internet. Oh my gosh, I think we're good. All right. Woo. All right. But yeah, taking so much damage on the good boys. Pretty rough. All right. Blood Knights are in. Now we're gonna head into the late game. Vampire counts, classic late game, just spamming the infantry. Gotta keep the Kemmler safe and all that. He's actually clearing up this flank side a bit hard. I gotta be a little wary of that, because he's gonna be pushing in there fairly soon, right? Now, I don't know how much capture weight he'll be able to muster, especially with the White King nearby. But the Corsairs, if they all get on this point, I don't know. I really feel like I'm down a lot of units here, right? Obviously, losing the dogs is pretty rough. Holy crap. And all of a sudden, everyone's dead. That's not good.
One of your units has been destroyed.
I'm not nearly in a comfortable enough situation for this. Technically, we win on a 1 cap, though. So I guess if I really spam the dudes, we'll be okay. I could sit on a 1 cap for the next 50 years. That would take like 7 minutes, though, man. There's no way I don't lose all my units in that time. Woo, all right. Looks like things are stabilizing. Yeah, I think I need to... Oh, man, he has so many units. We got army wiped. I got totally army wiped, bro. His Corsairs, they beat my my horrors. Oh, boy. Yeah, I think he's won this. Dang, that's actually pretty crazy. Is there any way I can kill these choruses more efficiently? I basically just have the horrors. Huh. Dang. Dang, man. Maybe I should have pulled back more. Tried to get him to fight on the point. I thought after I got the Winds of Death, we would have been good. We'll see, though. It is still a triple cap situation. It'll take him a while to get this. So maybe I do just hunker down on this point. Spam horrors and stuff, and we'll be okay. As long as we don't, as long as we don't have a drop. Oh, this is so bad, though. This is a terrible amount of lag. Okay, yeah, I have to hold this point for like 5 minutes. I guess we're spamming zombies then. Alright, here we go. This is my Hail Mary play. I have to be able to, yeah. I just have to be able to hold on that point. Oh, wait, no, 5 minutes is 300 tickets. Crap, no, we're talking like 8 minutes. Oof. Yeah, we're very likely dead here, but I want to see how this plays out.
One of your units has been destroyed.
Yeah, 1 point is, yeah. I just have to have so much infantry that he can't clear us out, and then maybe I get a sick Winds of Death. I might be able to recuperate the corpse cart. We're at 13 to 15 units. He has to de-summon. This is as good of a chance as it gets. Unfortunately for me, Scabscrath's not doing too great. I will have Kembler, though. And as soon as we start getting some crypt horrors here, they shouldn't die, right? He has no ammo, actually. Huh. Wait, yeah, the guy actually has no ammo. So that is potential. That is absolutely potential to sneak out a victory here. If I can just get a resummon of crypt horrors, we'll be good. Ah, crap. Come on, Kembler. Woo, that was close. Kembler barely making it out of there. All right. So the only hope we have here is that horrors severely uptrade versus guys. If he gets his Cold Wind Knights, though, on my horrors, that would be a very smart play, and that would probably end us. So just going to go here. Going to go for a, yeah, a little bit of a Wind of Death action. That should not be super dodgeable. Crap. No, he gets a dodge and a friendly fire. Oh my god. Oh, that was a risky play and a half. Okay, yeah, we're dead. Super duper dead. That was such a bad play. Mega goob. Mega goobered it. All right, let's do this. Yeah, I should have seen that coming. I should take an ability on Kembler so he can dodge the his own Winds of Death. I can't afford to be to whiff on that. Washed, yeah, we're washed. At least he can dodge Malekith for a while. If he captures a point, though, it's over. And with 2 more Corsairs, I think there's not enough. Yeah, I wrecked myself. I should have waited. I should have waited, man, or canceled it. Can the horrors win it? Come on. I think if he gets these 2 Corsairs on the point, it's immediately over. We'll see, though. Maybe I can route off some Corsairs here. The horrors are doing some damage. Come on, baby. Get on the point. We routed off another one. Okay, yeah, it's over. GG, well played. Okay, yeah. Yeah. All right. So his build does actually work. I have to be a little careful. The White Kings were actually, yeah, they actually did okay. I think if I can make sure that I don't whiff those Winds of Death, then we'll be goodies. Dark Elves are pretty fast, though. But, like, I botched it twice, right? Like, you saw the dog summons. The dog summons were actually really bad. I think if I save up and get more Crypt Horrors, I don't think there's a whole lot he can do. The Blood Knights also only felt okay. I wasn't super happy about them. I can maybe just spam Crypt Ghouls instead and we'll be fine. But yeah, the hand bows, using his ammunition to kill the horrors, was definitely the winning play here. Definitely. I can adapt in the grand finals though. So that means Daniken gets game number 1. Will he be winning this tournament? We shall see. Let's take a look. Let's play Slaanesh vs Empire next. And I will ban Eastern. Yeah, I think I did like 500 gold worth of dog damage, maybe even more. And I let my skellies die. I think it was totally winnable. I think that was not the cleanest match. Oh, I gave myself the win instead of the loss. Ugh. Ugh. All right. He wants to play on the arena. All right. Big map. Slaanesh versus Empire. Oh my god, the lag though. Lag is so bad. All right, let's take a look. How do I want to do this? Well, actually, it's Daniken. He's real swell. Daniken's super chill. I'll just show it. What I'm thinking is we want to rush him. Okay, well, yeah, obviously I'm playing Slaanesh, but I want to get a really strong early rush. So you have to kind of jump. They're ranged inside the mosh pit of infantry. So it's a little sketchy, but you can kind of just walk in with the fiends. I don't think you'll have enough cavalry to really hold up. Most attempts to kite Slaanesh do not go super well. So I have Furies, we got the Forsaken. Is there anything else I really need? I could spam some Seekers, or I can spam some more Devoted Marauders. Problem with Devoted Marauders is they're not great at actually getting through the front line. Neither are Furies though. With Empire, you really have to get through the front line quite quickly. I could go for Chaos Warriors, but the damage is significantly lower, and they're slow. So I'm not the biggest fan of that. I would say the biggest strat we can do here is... I think we do go for the Seekers. Just for that ludicrous speed. I don't need that many Furies. I don't think they're that great versus Empire anyways, because Knights of the Black Rose are kind of getting meta right now to counter Furies, and they do it exceptionally well. So screw that business. Let's do it. You wonder if you'll have the deeps if I just go into Hex Spam. Now Hex Spam is okay, but in that build you're not really hitting expensive units. Maybe a spawn? Nah, it gets shot to death. But yeah, I think that game was reasonably close if I didn't self-sabotage. Gotta not self-sabotage. Man, Winds of Death is actually quite dodgeable though. If he dodges, like, the moment I cast, then it's pretty over. I do feel like I should probably have like some Sternsmen too, but I'm so worried they're just gonna get murdered. I could also sit on 1 point for a bit longer. I was pretty aggressive there. I don't think I had to rush his face down. I should probably minimize damage at the beginning. Because his Corsairs are gonna run out of ammo anyways, right? Yeah, Daniken's not gonna look at my build. Daniken is like super chill, man. When he disconnects, he's like, you can have the win, I disconnected. Like, he's he's ultra chill, man. And it lets us talk about the builds, but alright, here we go. This is scary. Thankfully, if I face Daniken, it'll be a best of 5, so we can afford a couple sketchy losses. Losing counts into his Dark Elves is not the end of the world. I'll have to be careful though. Gotta make use of my sick cav plays. But all right, so this is a fairly wide Empire build, right? 15 units. To make it so I don't get hit by cannons or anything, we're gonna deploy on this side, take this point. And then I should be good. It's a grand finals prize this season. I don't know, but Turn says it's pretty big. So it could be bigger than the 1,000 total of last time. Yeah, Danican's super chill. Unfortunately, when it comes to playing the game, he takes it to Pound Town, but good practice. You gotta be careful not playing into matchups he's used to. I might even just not play counts into his Dark Elves if I can avoid it, but we'll really have to see. We'll see. Yeah, stream sniping would kind of hurt his practice. But yeah, 15 units for the Empire. It's a decent amount, but it's not like a fully fledged Mantide. If he hard deploys over here to contest my point cap, I can use some Hellstriders to take the side point. Let's see. Okay, he is fully deployed here with 2 war wagons and a light wizard. He has Shems, I see. So obviously we're gonna have to hide, and there's no point making the deep dive just yet into this. Oh, he has great swords. Now that's a fancy tech. I like that. Now generally Shems on the Fiends is not super worth, though if he gets the wagons on them, that's quite nice. He's gonna, okay, gonna try a play there. Wow, that's a lot of damage. Okay, so that tells me I probably just have to rush his face. I don't think I can afford to tank a bunch of Shems to the face. I think we just have to go for the big play. Because that, my friends, is a painful spell. It's a very painful spell. Wizard's gonna cost a lot though. It's on cooldown. He has some free company and all that. He has Marcus too though. Oh my god. Alright. Well, we're just gonna have to go for it. We might just die here though. That early play really puts us in a sketchy position. But let's see what we can get done. So he's in this little divot. Oh man, I really don't know if I want to take this fight though. That divot is not comfortable. My Lord's gonna be at the highest HP he can be at though. So I think we just have to kill him. I think we just have to go for it. So he gets the net. He's gonna focus my Lord. That's actually not the end of the world here. We're going to, yeah, we're just gonna wait it out. We're hopefully gonna get the Fiends into the cookie jar. There we go. Lord is going to be relatively okay. And okay, we got the Fiends in. Summon some Cav. Not the biggest scary thing in the world. Should be able to get a pretty nice pendulum in. And the Fiends can hopefully just blitz in. Oh my god, though, the multi-net. The multi-net's murdering me. Oh my god, okay, Lord has to dip. And fast. Now we got in there, but I think that just wins it. Unless the Fiends absolutely cook him. Oh my god, what a crazy net. That's a brutal net. Oh my god. Yeah, I think he just cooked me. I think he just fast road cooked me. Yo, the Shems caster though is insane. Oh my god, it's so over. Everything's gone. Dang, man, dang. Yeah. Rest in projectiles, Lord. I was the Shems wizard means that I can't really stall. And yeah, I was thinking the Lord would survive, but 2 wagons and 2 free company was just enough. Oh my god, and now I don't even have the capture points. Holy moly. Big throws this day. All right, so what do I have? I have 2 Fiends. I have 2 capture points. All right. I guess we have some cap points. Bro, that's so devastating though. Oh boy, all right. Is there any way we can stall him or something? Bro. Oh, he had a witch hunter. He accused me. He accused me. Oh my god. Yeah, this is like a full counter build. All right. I think we're just dead though. I think we're just dead. Two fiends in a dream. They're at decent HP. The Shems though is so brutal. Yeah, Box and Kite is like a classic playstyle to beat Slaanesh. Now, he does have a few guys maybe out of position here. I think the Fiend flank was a little late on the side. But in the end, I shouldn't have YOLO'd my Lord. I needed them to tear out his front line and give leadership shenanigans. Alright, let's see what we can pull up. Let's see what crazy shenanigans I can pull. I have no Lord, but I have a bunch of Fiends. He also did have to cast a bunch of nets with the Light Wizard. So I guess that's okay. His Wagon Poke is probably not super high DPS, I think. We can get some Forsaken here. At least the map's massive. Yeah, now I'm really feeling like I should have just played the long con. And just gone for capture points. But I think that would have been a slow death. Dang, though. What a nice defensive position, though, right? Like, you got, like, the premium... the premium defensive spot. Oh, my gosh. I don't think these Furies are cooking. Not versus Sons of Sigmar. Not versus Sons of Sigmar. Oh, my God. Yeah, getting the karma for getting all those wins last night. Daniken crushed it. Some very good fights. Although quite one-sided. Mad Lad made it ultra one-sided. Is there any way I can squeeze by a crazy win though? Like, these Fiends are good. He does have some cav, but we can net him, right? Knights the Black Rose. We should be able to just, yeah, pin him down while my Fiends continue to win this fight. His Free Company are slightly out of position. And we can actually kill off these Knights of the Black Rose if I'm lucky. They're expensive. He shouldn't have any other summons left. So, yeah, we're just going to charge him. Getting that charge off is super important. Those Empire Knights we should be able to kill off too. But he does have great swords. Now, he's left a couple Spearmen on the flank there. They will potentially get bullied. Okay, yeah, now he's just trying to capture points. So he goes for Pistoliers. Interesting. Bro, what a crazy build, though. This is a really good build against us. And now he's even getting Free Company militia shots? That's insane. All right, we got to dip with our Fiends. I can't stick around here. He gets a point. This is obviously lost, but it's the last game of the match. I might as well try to... make a sick play. Oh my god, look at that positioning, though. Ugh. Yeah, the nets. I think the nets are just better. The Shems caster is actually so problematic here because I didn't have an ability for them. So like he was probably just gonna Shems my Lord to death, right? Although maybe I can just take it. I don't know, man. You can kind of hide though. You can kind of hide, but yeah. Okay, so just some Empire Knights over there. We should be able to win this fight. There you go. I have one cap point. He wins on a 2 cap though. He wins on a 2 cap. Yeah, this is pretty done for. All right. GG, well played. Dang, that was a crazy showing from Daniken. That was a crazy showing. Oh my god. Bro cooked me. Yeah, I do know Slaanesh is like not the best matchup for Empire. Let's take a look. Dude, just the Lord face tanking all that damage though. I was thinking, okay, yeah, he just has the one Marcus net. And then I can get in there. But yeah, bro, this is like so specialized to beat me. The thing is though, if I go armor spam, I think he wins with his cap. Now I can triple cap him, right? And force him to not play ultra wide, but like even an armor spam's kind of sus. Like, what would it even look like? Oh no, man, dude, that Shems cast was so brutal. That was a crazy Shems cast. Yeah, like if I go armor spam, it would be like a bunch of Chaos Warriors. Dang. Dang, what a beast. Maybe you go infantry spam. I think that's like, that's a play you can go for, but I don't know, double wagon. You can go infantry spam and something like, I don't know, you can try to get a cheaper caster with like Pavane. Pavane makes it so you can't get kited. Usually that rush is good against like a hard kite, but against a soft kite, you kind of need to do something like this. So you can like Pavane and deal with it that way. Shems, let's take a look. Lore of Light. Shems is 250 meter range. So brutal. So brutal. All right. Congrats to Danican. Congrats, Danican, on the decisive win day. Whew. Yeah, I think if I withhold the rush, though, it can take them a long time to actually get to capture points. You can try and wait for them to split up. That map is actually fairly good for that box, though. It was fairly strong. I think Slaanesh versus Empire is not the best matchup. Slaanesh or and Vampire counts versus Dark Elves. I think I just misplayed. I think that was mine to win. Norsker versus Khorne probably should have been fine. But yeah, spooky. Spooky. I'm gonna call it a day for today, though. I have a 2v2 to get ready for. But yeah, how do you deal with Shems? It does so much damage to the infantry. How the crap are you supposed to deal with Shems? Infantry spam, you mean Marauders? I guess like he can't kill the Marauders, but he has great swords, right? I need some way to kill great sword. There's no way I get through great swords with this. And his spear infantry would hold forever against these guys. They have more melee defense than you have melee attack. So devoted Marauders just can't get in there in time, and the great swords would just slowly kill off your guys. You kind of need to really punch in there. I think realistically speaking, against a double net, I would say my best odds of winning is to go for a double cultist. Like, I think this would actually be the best. Double cultist, Gate of Slaanesh, you summon into their blob, you kill the great swords with this. And then after that, they basically have nothing. I think this would do fine. But yeah. I'm gonna call it a day. Peace out. And have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm gonna need to tune up some of these matchups versus the Danican. He's clearly been training. He has some very nicely set builds. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for another tournament of the same style.